Now, welcome to another edition of Revealing God. I'm your host, Brother Victor. Today, we're talking about the fear of God. Now, fear is something that we are used to in life because, fear is what brings terror to many people because of the fear of the unknown, fear of threat to life, fear of the various kinds. We're used to that. And that is described as the fear of terror because there are two kinds of fear. But the other kind of fear is called the fear of reverence, where we fear someone for who they are, fear someone for who, what they are in their lives. That fear of respect, that's why I call it fear of reverence. And that you have towards your parents or someone you really, place highly in your life. So we have to understand that this two kind of fear applies also to the gospel, to God in our lives. Now, the fear of terror, when we have fear of terror of God, is the fear that we fear Him for His judgment. Because sinners are always terrified of God because they are afraid of His judgment. But believers should not be afraid of God. They should have the fear of reverence because God is meant to be their Father. So ultimately, they ought to have reverence for their Father as they have their physical Father on earth. We already say our Father. So that's why we must understand that these two kind of fear exist and they govern our life every day. Now, many people want to take away God because they don't want to have the fear of God. They just want to live a free life. But at the end of the day, when the time comes and there's a judgment, that fear will still come back. So it's better we embrace God as people. But we must understand that all of God's requirement to serve Him is the fear of God and to keep His commandment according to Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. So, but many people ignore that kind of fear. But also, many people, as Christians, they believe in God and they say they love God, but they do not fear God, therefore they don't obey Him. The Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. If we must live wisely as Christians, we must have the fear of God in our lives and not say we love God and that God is forgiving and don't fear His terror, because God is both merciful and just. He will not break His commandment for your life, for your whatever you have done. He will love you and will punish you because He will punish anybody justly and will not break His word for whatever someone has done. So that's why we must have that reverence of God, fear of God, because it is very necessary for us to live right. And that's why it's called the beginning of wisdom, because the fear of God makes you depart from evil. You saw Joseph when he was alone with Potiphar's wife. He had a fear of God, and that's why he kept living for God. You saw Job, he had a fear of God, that's why he kept living for God, even when he seen that no things around. It's the fear of God that will keep you living for God, even when nobody seems to be looking. This is what is needed. But if you're not born again, you can't have that fear of reverence, because that's what God wants more than anything, because He will become your Father. So if you've not given your life to Christ, set a prayer on your screen and give your life to Christ. Then tell someone about Jesus Christ if you have already done that. Thank you, and I'll see you again. God bless.